200 grizzlies that roamed Yellowstone Park. That's when the federal government listed the bears as threatened under the Endangered Species Act.
Since then, the population has grown to an estimated 713 grizzlies, prompting a delisting and hunting seasons in 3 states. In tonight's Idaho Backroads Report, Steve Liebenthal explains how some of those bears are getting into trouble when they wander into Idaho.
Can bears swim? Yeah, that is a bear.
You're looking at rare footage. The video, shot at dusk, may be grainy, but what it shows is very clear. A grizzly bear near a populated area in Idaho.
When we saw it, I was like, that's a grizzly. I haven't seen one this close before, and it was pretty interesting seeing it and figuring out that it was a grizzly bear. And
Grant Pearson and friends were out for a boat ride near a family cabin at Island Park when they spotted the adolescent bear, which had become familiar with the Mill Creek campground.
We had one girl in the boat who was freaking out. I was like, no, it can't swim this far. It's fine.
Fish and Game had captured the same bear in the same campground just a few days earlier. Managers moved the grizzly to a remote location 22 miles away, but within days the bear was back, and that cost him his life.
We closely monitored the bear the whole time because we had a GPS collar on it, so we knew exactly where the bear was going. But finally, it just came down to it was a threat to humans, so we had to remove that bear.
Most of the Forest Service campgrounds in Island Park are posted with information about grizzlies, including instructions for properly storing food. They also have special garbage cans designed to keep bears out. But Mill Creek is an undeveloped campground with few amenities and few rules. People we talked to shortly after the young grizzly was put down say that's the problem.
I just have walked past 2 camps right here. One of them has cat food sitting out in a can, open can, just sitting out. I go to the next camp just a couple feet away, and there's a watermelon. And there are 5 coolers sitting right there. I think we have to be a lot more responsible.
Managers agree the bear came here and returned here looking for an easy meal. This bear was part of a population that has grown since Yellowstone grizzlies were listed under the Endangered Species Act. In June of last year, the Interior Department removed grizzly bears from the list, taking away their federal protection. Idaho Fish and Game managers have been busy this year, trapping more than a dozen grizzlies in Idaho. 3 of those were considered trouble bears because of interactions with people or livestock, but most were trapped as part of a research study that managers say proves the available habitat in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem is supporting as many grizzlies as it should.
The reality is that we have a population that is very stable, and that hunting was written into the conservation strategy as a compatible activity with grizzly bear management.
As part of a plan to keep the population in check, Idaho has joined Wyoming in opening a fall season on grizzlies outside of Yellowstone, allowing hunters to take bears that are part of the excess population.
It's a big deal to see a bear.
Grant's father, Dane, who has spent many summers in Island Park at his cabin just a half mile from where this bear was trapped and eventually killed, says the expanding grizzly population and the delisting of grizzlies is a double-edged sword.
The delisting part is a double-edged sword because you want the population to rebound, but I don't know that needs to mean that we automatically open fire on them.
Environmentalists have made a move that could block the hunts. Tomorrow, a federal judge in Montana will hear their case to put Yellowstone grizzlies back on the endangered species list. Steve Liebenthal, 6 on your side.
A hunter who has chosen to remain anonymous won the single tag available for the Idaho hunt.
12 grizzly tags were awarded for a hunt in Wyoming. Unless that judge rules otherwise, those hunts are scheduled to begin Saturday.